This is AHA, Ranking Highs and Lows, Episode 3.
Hello everybody and welcome to the third episode of AHA, Ranking Highs and Lows, your podcast that celebrates the wonderful music of AHA by ranking all AHA songs from the worst to the best. In the two previous episodes we counted down the songs from number 147 to 101, and in this episode we'll take the next 25 songs from 100 to 76. My name is Peter and I'm the moderator of this countdown, and with me I still have the two guys behind the countdown or the ranking, Jesper and JP. How's it going, guys?
Thanks, quite well. We are already 1/3 into the countdown.
Already?
Yeah, already. And we still have lots of fantastic songs to cover, we'll start to cover fantastic songs as we move up the list. It hasn't been so fantastic up until now, I guess we can say. But it's getting quite exciting. We've also discussed that in the previous episode we somehow ended up in what you can call maybe no man's land, where many of the songs were neither really bad nor great. Well, some of them were really bad, but that's by AHA standards. And you know, to some extent that will continue through this episode as well. Sort of, you know, not quite where things explode.
I mean,
getting there.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, it's much easier to rank the songs that really stir some emotions, but positive or negative, than the ones we've been through that don't really make an impact on you. And we still have some of those as well in this still lower part of the list. But we'll do our best to keep the excitement going, because we are excited. At least we have some attitudes towards the songs, and there are some interesting ones amongst the next 25, so brace yourselves. At least we think so, that some of the songs are really interesting and possibly surprises as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also reflecting on the first two episodes, we obviously also realized that a ranking like this, where you start from the worst and then move to the top ever so slowly, it will almost inevitably have a somewhat negative tone to begin with, which we of course hope doesn't sort of come across as lack of respect, because that's at least not the intention.
But it's reality.
it is reality, or maybe not the lack of respect, but the, you know, the critical opinions in a way. But as we've also mentioned in the previous episodes, for anyone who listened to that, as we'll, you know, we have devoted an unhealthy amount of our time and attention to AHA over the years, so we can't help becoming a bit disappointed now and then when we feel that the band's ambitions or at least a shared vision is slipping on certain songs.
One more thing I think we would have to touch briefly upon is the demos. Those who listened to the first episode will know that we had 14 demos, mostly from before the breakthrough, among the 47 lowest ranked songs.
We only like really produced stuff.
Yeah, and it's not that we don't like the demos.
No.
I think it would be because I think I can't think of more exciting moments in our AHA fandom than when the demos are released. But we try to rank the songs based on how they sound in the available versions and not what could have been. So we treat demos like nothing to it, in the same way that we treat, for instance, You're the One. And we ask ourselves which one is the better song. I mean, to me, it's almost nothing to it. But yeah. All in all, it's not the better song. And we'll also come across other demos further up the list. So there are really quality demos made as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so now we went the third episode, and we've been through 47 songs.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked a bit at the numbers. Out of those 47 songs, 31 of those are proper album tracks.
Sure.
And 7 of those are from Cast and Steel. And then we have 5 from Foot of the Mountain and 5 from Analog. That means that out of those 31 songs, 17 are from the latest albums. So can we conclude that you don't like Cast and Steel and you really don't like the latest albums?
Yes.
Almost. Well, it's not as simple as that. I mean, we've often discussed that albums like Carsten Steele and Analog are semi-good albums, which in this case really doesn't mean that all the songs are middle of the road, but rather that some of the songs are really good and some of the songs really aren't. And it basically comes down to who wrote them, as we also will reveal further up the list.
Yeah, true.
So it's but we, especially Analog, is an album that we both really feel a lot of love for.
Yeah, I agree to that. So in many ways, it depends on how you look at it. Like Jesper also alluded to, if you take like an average of the songs, maybe an album like Carsten Steele or Analog would score pretty low in comparison to most of the other albums. But how much weight should you give to the fantastic songs on those albums if you sort of were to rank the albums from worst to best? How high are the highs and how low are the lows, basically? And how you feel about an album cannot be boiled down to your average rating of each song. But luckily we don't have to worry about the albums here because we're ranking each song individually. But it would definitely become a difficult discussion if we were to rank the 10 studio albums.
Let's not go down that road yet.
No, let's not.
I think we have plenty to focus on here. So let's continue the countdown and see which song will crack the top 100.
Number 100.
All right, let's kick off with number 100 and draw a fine blue line here, because the song is A Fine Blue Line from Analog 2005. And to me, I think we're maybe a bit too harsh on it. I mean, to me, it's clearly an above-average song. It's a clear Magne song. Speak Norwegian English there. And I mean, I've always liked it. And it really blends in nicely with the other songs surrounding it, which is really giving it credit because the other songs surrounding it on the album are some of the best moments after the comeback in 2000. But I think Morten sings beautifully, and it's just a harmonic and nice little ballad.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's me who's sort of pulling it down towards number 100. I can't hear that it's above average. That would mean it would crack the top 75, and to me it certainly doesn't do that. I mean, it's one of those no man's land song to me. It doesn't do any harm. In a way, it just sits there. It's pleasant at times. I think this is maybe my biggest problem with Analog, that it starts to sound too much like early
Morning.
Keane or no, not early morning, if only, but early Keane or Coldplay. And not really sounding like Aha.
All right.
So if I was tasked with stripping Analog from 13 tracks to the classic 10-track album, a Fine Blue Line would be a strong contender to be left off. But I stand by us putting it down there, but I get your point.
Okay, let's move on then.
Number 99.
Number 99 is Oranges on Apple Trees from Lifelines from 2002. A rare collaboration between Magne and Morten at a time where they seem to gang up against Paul. It's a song for those who want their Aha upbeat and with maybe too clever lyrics. It's one of those songs where I don't hate it, but I certainly don't love it either. But at the same time, I must admit that it's not one that I normally skip when I listen to the Lifelines album, and that's maybe a quality stamp in itself. And I've honestly also found myself listening to it in my head every now and then, just sort of playing it from start to finish.
Why?
I don't know. It's guilty pleasure. I don't know. I still think it belongs down here in around number 99, and
it's sick. That's really sick. I think Magne actually played the song to Morten believing he would hate it, but the opposite was the case, and then it got recorded. And it's very, pun intended, Pet Shop Boyish, and it's actually no surprise since it was actually produced by Stephen Hague, who also produces Pet Shop Boys. To me, it's a bit too silly, but it is enjoyable from time to time. but it's nothing more than that.
No.
But if you like Pet Shop Boys, this is perhaps a go-to song for
Yeah,
a-ha.
probably, yeah. And I think also, given the day and age, lyrics like multi-gender wannabes, that might have passed in 2002. I'm not sure that it would have made it onto the album if it had been released
Probably
today. So for that reason and for many other reasons, 99.
This is how it ends.
Yeah, this is how it ends. Yeah.
Number 98.
Number 98, Little Black Heart from Minor Earth Major Sky in 2000. I remember liking this song a bit when it came out, but it really doesn't stand the test of time in my opinion. It sounds, it's like a moment in time that has passed. It sounds, it has the sound, the same drum sound that was on Madonna's Frozen.
Frozen in time.
Yeah, Frozen in time. Yeah, ka-ching, la boom-cha. And the chorus is actually quite boring too. And in hindsight, I think this should have been lower on the list because it's not a particularly good song in my opinion.
But so we normally say that we agree about roughly 90% of the songs. This is one of those where we don't agree. I would have put this higher on the list, so 98 is like a compromise. I think it's a really, really good song. I could easily have seen it go higher on the list. And I actually think that the fact that it doesn't have much of a chorus is working as one of its strengths. So to me, it's a hidden gem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but,
we agree to disagree.
We agree to disagree. Yeah.
Number 97.
Number 97 is Holy Ground, Holy Moly from Analog 2005. It's one of the few Morten penned tracks with, I think, lyrics from his Norwegian poet friend and longtime collaborator Ole Sverre Olsen. This sounds like something that was included on the Analog album because Morten insisted on contributing his own songs because there's absolutely no a-ha flavor here whatsoever, not to my ears at least. And apparently neither Paul nor Magne were involved in the actual recording. But at the same time, it's interesting to witness again how different all three members of a-ha are when it comes to writing lyrics, because there's definitely a sort of a spiritual aspect to Holy Ground that you wouldn't find in a Paul or Magne lyric. So in some ways, actually, a lovely little song, but one that would fit better on a Morten solo album.
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing Morten. That was before the a-ha release. I remember seeing Morten playing it on TV in a TV show on his acoustic guitar, and I thought it was really cool.
Yeah,
the song was very nice, and again, a nicely written song was destroyed by disgusting production, especially the cheesy drums that drag along through the whole song. And still, it's not a bad moment in modern songwriting. I think it's actually nice. I could have lived without the I was living without the universe. That's not too strong, but the rest of the song is really it's kind of nice.
Yeah, but one of the reasons why it's so low on the list is maybe also because it is more of a Morten song and less of
no. It's
know.
not better than this.
No,
That's how it is.
Number 96.
Number 96, White Canvas from Lifelines 2002. Here's a personal story. I was lovesick at the time of the release of Lifelines, and this song gave me a bit of hope with the lyrics. Follow me out, follow me around, let's make the road up as we go along, just as we planned. So So I was, as I said, a little bit heartbroken at the time, and I later moved on, and I have the actually moved on from this song as well. but I think it's a nice enough track, and Morten sings very well, and it's a song by Magne, and I think it's a really good song.
Yeah, it is. I agree, and it's quite a gorgeous chorus, if you can call it that. So very wonderful melodic flow, and Morten's vocals sort of lifts it further. Very nice. Yeah. Very nice song. But
don't listen to the demo.
No, don't.
Because it destroys everything.
Yeah.
One in a million.
To me, that is really the equivalent of discovering that a painting that you really like is painted on top of a really embarrassing first sketch, and it takes something away from the end result. Just sort of staying with the whole white canvas theme.
But what is the lyric again? 1 in a million, two of a kind. 3 is a...
No, 3 is the point where I draw the line.
Oh my fucking god.
Yeah,
it's so disgusting. But anyway, the final product was really nice.
Number 95.
95 is Butterfly Butterfly, the last hooray in parentheses. It's a single release from 2010, but you can also find it on various compilations now. It's released in connection with the Ending on a High Note farewell tour in 2010. And so obviously it was intended to be the last ever recording by a-ha, which luckily it wasn't. And the reason why we say luckily is that, first of all, I never wanted them to stop in the first place, but also because Butterfly isn't, as a song, quite the classic it should have been. It's not a bad song, but if we think about Paul's flair for writing epic album closes, you could quite rightfully have expected something grander as a career closing track.
Yeah, I remember
which this isn't.
And I remember Magne saying at the time that it was the best song Paul had written in many years, and it's like it's
that was more of an insult almost.
More of an insult, really. I mean, I liked it too, and I cried a bit when it was played in our music club by another member, because it was a big thing that a-ha was not going to make music together anymore. We later found out that was not the case, and thanks for that. But you could have saved me some tears back then. And I'm not too sure about the song today. It's alright, above average for a-ha standards, I think, maybe, even though it's down here at 95. But I'm really happy that it didn't end up being the swan song.
Yeah, agree.
And can I ask, at that point, did you really think that this would be the end, or did you sort of have the feeling that either artistic ambition or money would bring them back?
I mean, given the fact that I cried at the time.
You've cried many times.
I cried many times, but
I still cry.
Nice
Savoy reference.
Little Savoy reference there. No, I mean, I thought it was the end, because I thought they had the balls to stand by their decision. But I'm happy that they went another round, and now, as we know now, and another one. So So yeah.
But at the time we thought this is it. Yeah.
Number 94.
All right, here we go. Number 94 is Time and Again from Lifelines 2002.
You love this one.
Yeah, I never really got the fuss about the song. I normally agree with Paul's taste, but not so much here. I mean, the vocal lines are dragged so long, and on top of that, they're repetitive, I think. Paul produced it himself in what he called the Hunting High and Low tradition, whatever that means, because I have no clue to actually what he meant by that. The song itself, I mean, it lacks the quality from 1985 at least, that's for sure, and I would have ranked this perhaps a little bit lower, but I mean, I can listen to it.
Yeah.
But not with pleasure.
No, I think the ranking is fair, for me at least, and I believe it's one of Paul's own favorites, but like you also say, it's not one of mine either. Very nice song, showcases Morten's vocals. It benefits from the slow build-up, but This is sort of a semi-electronic beat that I don't think does it any good. Could go a little bit higher on the list for me, but nowhere near the top. So we end up here.
Yeah. You'll end up crying.
Again.
Number 93.
Number 93. This is Our Home from the MTV Unplugged Summer Solstice sessions from 2017. So it's one of those few songs that hasn't had a studio treatment that we have here on the list. It's a Magne composition that was premiered at the MTV Unplugged session. So therefore it's difficult to judge if the instrumentation on this version is actually what Magne had intended when he wrote it, or if there would have been a more, I don't know, electronic or electric format if it had been released on a studio album. I think it's among the better new songs from his hand. I think it does have a certain warmth to it, but it doesn't do a lot for me. I think you're a little bit more happy.
I mean, it was a little bit disappointing at first listen, but the song has really grown on me. I think it's as you say, trademark Magne stuff, and a very nice homage to Norway, I think, and therefore a natural first song at the homecoming MTV Unplugged concert. But I think perhaps it's still growing on me. I don't know.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Not on me.
Number 92.
Number 92, The Sun Never Shone That Day, from Minor Earth Major Sky in 2000. It's actually a bit of a shock for me that it's all the way down here, but because this was for a very long time one of my favorite songs.
You helped make the list. How can it be a shock?
yeah, but in hindsight, it's written by Paul and Lauren, and I always love the bass line. It's so great, but it's not very very well sung by Morten. I think it sounds a little off in places, especially the chorus, like and the chorus is also a bit repetitive and a bit boring actually. I mean, the verse of the song, actually the intro with the sun never shone that day is actually what makes the song good, and the rest is not that good. So time has not been very good to the song, I must admit, but the drive and the backing vocals that are singing the title, I think it's that keeps it within the best 100 songs.
Yeah, I basically agree. It just, it hasn't aged that well. I think one of the reasons why we sort of are second guessing ourselves sometimes here is that it benefits from the sort of relatively fast beat, because Minor Earth Major Sky is otherwise quite mid-tempo. So maybe it stands out because of that, maybe, because time hasn't been kind to it, as you say.
No.
Number 91.
Number 91, You'll Never Get Over Me from Minor Earth Major Sky from 2000. This is a little bit of a difficult one in a way, because it has a really nice melody, and the almost sort of duet-like chorus part works really well. As Morten and Lauren being Paul's wife, their voices actually suit each other remarkably well. I like the lyrics. They sort of ooze jealousy out of every pore, but the song itself is too long and repetitive. A trimmed version might have worked better.
Yeah, I mean, I have nothing much to add here. I think it's a middle of the road song. It's nice with the Lauren, and it's an okay melody. I remember playing it on my guitar many times, because it's not that difficult to sing either. So it's an okay melody, but as you say, it's a minute too long in the end. So it's actually forgettable.
Number 90.
All right, here we go with number 90, The Bandstand from For the Mountain 2009. The first song on the album, and it's a very, very nice starter, I think. First of all, the song proved to me and to you as well, I know that Magne and Paul could still write together. I mean, that was, for an a-ha fan, that is positive news, because They are really good at stabbing each other, but they could still write a really good song together. It's nicely weird somehow, and the verses and the chorus are really cool with the choir in the chorus, or is it a choir? I'm not even sure. Yeah, maybe it's just some dubbed vocals, but it's really nice. And like other a-ha songs, this is one that I have never heard anything similar anywhere else. It's a really weird song, but I really like it. It's a bit too long in the end, but still a very nice song.
I also think that you are maybe a little bit happier with this song than I am. I'm happy about the fact that Paul and Magne collaborated. That idea sort of that alone warms the heart of a longtime fan like us. But the bandstand doesn't quite reach the quality level of the early days, which is also a lot to ask, to be honest. And it is still, in my view, or in my ears, absolutely a decent effort. Keep a riff maybe a little bit annoying and too high-pitched vocals, or the chorus.
The chorus is so cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the a neon glow shining down on us part. I think that's absolutely great. But I had hoped for more and maybe also expected more.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is a standout track on the album, so it's a little bit of a difficult one. Maybe that's why it ends up here.
Yeah.
Number 89.
Number 89, To Let You Win. Minor Earth Major Sky from 2000. We're hitting a bit of a Minor Earth Major Sky streak here in this part of the ranking. In the case of To Let You Win, it's, in my view at least, one of Morten's strongest contributions to the a-ha songbook. You could say it's a little bit sad that it's down at number 89. Then we will come back to some that are ranked higher.
Yeah.
This one is sort of very subdued and very honest. I think it's beautiful lyrics, which is, I think, actually often the case on Morten songs, either solo or with a-ha. I'm not sure the electronic beat does it any good though, and the Christmas-inspired bells sound out of place, except maybe for Christmas. But it's not exactly a very Christmassy song or lyrics, so yeah, it's out of place.
Yeah, I think we both remember seeing that show with Morten on Norwegian TV, where he played it from a tape recorder, and he made the drum sound with his mouth, and it was a demo that he, to be such a big star, that you go on TV and play a very low-key demo on television, and actually being pretty pretentious about it is really worth. I think it's a super nice song, and
it is
a very strong lyric about relationship problems. I really like it, but I wasn't strong enough to let you win. I think that line alone does a world of good for that song.
Yeah.
The production
doesn't.
The production doesn't. It takes a bit away from it, but it does not destroy the song as the production did with Holy Ground, for instance. No. But it's a very nice song, and perhaps it should have been higher on the list.
It could potentially have been a little bit higher.
Yeah. Sorry, Morten.
Yeah.
Number 88.
Number 88. Foot of the Mountain. From Foot of the Mountain, 2009.
Really?
Yeah. Living in a Box with Living in a Box from the album Living in a Box. Okay, Foot of the Mountain. I simply don't get why this song has become a fan favorite in some circles. First of all, Magne's original song, The Longest Night, from his 2008 solo album, is much better.
But no one has heard it.
No one has heard it except us. The production and the chorus was great and had super energy in his version. And this one ended up as a mix and match piece with the chorus from Paul, and certainly not one of the best choruses from Paul, especially since Morten sings it false almost every time it's played live. And on top of that, Magne's lyrics are another frontal attack on Paul. So Paul didn't want them to glue the song together, but the manager came up with the idea, and apparently it ended up being a matter of survival of the band. So Paul in the end had to give in. And I never liked it in the first place, and I was so disappointed when I heard it as a first song. And I remember where I was the day that I heard it on the radio, and they should have done better, and they could have done better. And all things considered, this is the true place for the Mountain. It should have maybe gone even lower. It's an awful song.
Yeah. I think I can hear why why people like it. It doesn't mean that I necessarily think it's a good song, but it's a good pop song in a way, with the keyboard riff and everything. Has I think a quite strong chorus. I think I like that better than you do, and it was a reasonably big hit in Europe overall and massive in Germany. So maybe Paul was happy about that at least. But I think
I don't think he.
Oh, maybe
gives
not.
A shit. But
but I think both the original songs that were glued together to create the song were better than the end result. To be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you ever wanna talk to the people you talk about, the ones that actually like the song, then come talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like it.
I do. It's a wonderful pop song.
For some. Yeah.
You know us simple people.
Yeah, you simpleton.
Yeah.
Number 87.
Number 87, Velvet from Minor Earth Major Sky from 2000. A favorite, I think, among many fans, and also a song that appears to appeal to the casual AHA listener. And in all fairness, it is a good song, but the original version released by Paul with Savoy is just far superior. AHA's version is sort of bereft of any of the danger, if you can call it that you can find in the original. It's gone from being sort of a song about a dangerous, toxic woman to just something that sounds like an ordinary love song. It's the video is among the best. It's funny, dark, and controversial. None of which can be said of AHA's version of the song.
No, I would have preferred that they had just taken the Savoy version with all the guitars, the rocky sound, and put Morten's voice on top of it. But still, it wouldn't have been as good as the Savoy, because Paul's indie voice really suits the song really well. So, I mean, to me, it would have been nice if AHA just hadn't recorded this song. But I think I remember Morten saying in an interview where he actually sat with Paul on MTV. They were actually being interviewed together. Those were the days. Where he said that they all initially felt that it was an AHA song too, even though it was initially released by Savoy. And Simone Larsen is still doing the female backing vocals, and she sings it very nicely. So it's a nice use of 4 chords all through the song, and it's good, but it's better in Savoy's version.
But it would have been interesting in a parallel world if we could have listened to the AHA version without knowing a Savoy version, and see if that would impact our sort of impression of it, because it is a good song.
Yeah.
Number 86.
Number 86 is Touchy from Stani's Roads, 1988. It was never a favorite to me in the long run. Yes, it was really alright when it came out, and it would have been, I think, an obvious choice for a lead single for the album. Certainly not a third single, but it actually charted without being a single, I remember. And the video has some humor to it. It's way more humorous than You Are the One, which is really bad. And Touchy was actually pretty cool live too. I mean, I think it's best known for the Live in South America video release in 1991, where Magne played a great harmonica solo. But all in all, it's a wrong direction for AHA, I think, at this point. And luckily, they took another direction for the next album.
Yeah, and this is also one of those where we disagree somewhat. And I could easily put this higher on the list. I know it's sort of slagged off by many fans as an example of AHA when they are worst, and some even feel embarrassed by it on AHA's behalf. And I honestly don't.
Oh, I don't either. It's not embarrassing.
I honestly really enjoyed this one. Fond memories and whatnot. And I actually even prefer this, the original poppy version from Stay in These Roads over the rockier live version. And yeah, I think it's time that they bring it back to life in concert, where it hasn't featured since that rocky version back in, I think 1994. So, Aha, stand by your pop song and your pop past.
It would have been fun to hear it at the MTV Unplugged concert.
yeah, true. Yeah.
To me, the song is also a bit special because you once played me the extended version from 12th inch release, and
yes, we're sorry about that.
Yeah, because that was basically the worst 10 minutes of my life.
It's one of the worst 12-inch they released, definitely. So yeah,
we can only apologize.
Yeah. Okay. Accepted.
Number 85.
Number 85, To Show It Is To Blow It, from the Lifelines Deluxe Edition from 2019. An Aha song, but a lot of Savoy and a lot of Beatles. I could easily find a handful of songs on the Lifelines album that To Show It Is To Blow It could replace and still make Lifelines a better album. And makes me wonder, is this what Aha version 2.0 could have sounded like if Paul had had a bigger say? I wouldn't have minded, to be honest. It's one of the newer favorites for me. Could have been higher on the list, certainly for me at least.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I really it's growing. It's. I think it's a nice song. I think there's another one we'll talk about later that is even better. But
for you,
and for you,
no.
And I think this song, maybe it would have been an album filler on a Savoy album too. But it has some really nice things towards the end of the song. It's a little bit Radiohead-ish. It's a good song, but nothing more than that.
It's a very good song, and a little bit more than that.
Okay.
Number 84.
Number 84, Cannot Hide, from Lifelines 2002. I actually really like the slide guitar, and I like the drive of the song. And Morten sings in a pretty cool way, and the verse, the bridge, and the chorus is just, I think it hangs together really nicely. Especially the chorus is super cool. And yes, we have Magne as well enjoying a French moment where he allegedly just sang nonsense, gibberish French. But this is not half bad for a Morten song in a hard context. I like it.
I think it's also by some fans referred to as the sexy song.
Sexy.
Yeah. I don't know about that, but I think it would have been a good choice for a single. It's short, it's to the point, it's everything that our comments are not. The chorus could
you can say that again, and you probably will.
I will again and again. I like the fact that Morten sings in a bit grittier voice than this sort of famous crystal clear vocals that he often does. Very likable song. Well done, Morten.
Yeah, well done. Well written.
Number 83.
Number 83, Crywolf, from Scoundrel Days from 1986.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's this could divide opinions. I know that the song does, at least. It seems a popular choice among the broader audience, while I think we know that many fans tend to cringe when it comes to Crywolf. As the opening track of the B-side on Scoundrel Days, it can't really help to disappoint compared to the majestic tracks on the A-side. But I think it's getting too much unjust criticism. I think the drums are great. I think the bass is great. I think the verses work really well. it's probably the chorus that's the weakest point, but it's been a real concert highlight, I think, in recent years. And I can't really decide if Crywolf actually deserves to be a bit higher on the list than where we've put it now, or if it's just nostalgia trying to trick me or trick us.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the video the other day. It was on TV, and then I thought to myself, well, maybe we're a bit too harsh in it. But and we probably will get some shit for putting it all the way down here. But it's
all the way up here.
All the way up. But it's a 2-chord song. And the verses, as you say, are really nice, and but the chorus is too simple, and even though it's fast and snappy, it's actually quite boring. Actually, it was the only song in my book that on the demo, where the demo version from this album was actually better than the final version, and also the live versions, all the way back from 1991. There's a C part in the song that makes the track much better, where there's a chord change. So and we're still hearing it live, and and I think it's a great live song the way when they play it properly. But it's not a great song aside from that. And also, we talked about the 12-inch singles before. This is one of the worst too. But that's another story.
Yeah.
Number 82.
Number 82, Shapes That Go Together. It was released as a single in 1994. It's the Olympic song, or the Paralympic song. I actually have to admit that I always perceived it as a bit degrading that it was only for the Paralympics and not the proper Olympics. Sorry, I didn't mean that. But however, actually it fits the lyrics, and the lyrics are quite nice, and it fits the occasion, so to speak. I used to like it a little bit better, but to me it's more of a testament to the first breakup of the band, and it doesn't really stand the test of time to me, I have to say.
Yeah.
I like the middle part of the song where it goes down a little bit, but
I've always really liked this one. I think that the lyrics are beautiful. They always seem to move me. But in a way, like several of their songs, maybe even more so in recent years, it sounds like the verse and the pre-chorus and the middle eight have been given more attention than the actual chorus. Great beat, beautiful vocals, uplifting song. I like it.
Yeah. It actually has the same. Come to think of it, it has the same structure in the chorus than as Crywolf. Shapes that go together, shapes that go together. Crywolf, don't worry, Crywolf. So
well, then it's very appropriate that they're
hanging together,
sat next to each other on the list.
Exactly. We're geniuses.
Number 81.
Number 81, Celise from Analog from 2005. A really cool track by Magne. When I first heard it, I was certain that it was a Paul composition because it's built around a solid guitar riff that didn't sound anything like something Magne had done for a long time. It's driven forward by changes in pace, great guitars, solid drums. I don't think it's a bad choice for a first single from the Analog album, but it didn't do very well commercially. Maybe it's too unconventional in its structure. Yeah, and I kind of wonder why we didn't put it high on the list, because
it is. I mean, but 81 is almost high on the list now because we're getting to really good songs now. This is a really cool track, has a nice energy and drive, and I think it was a good choice for a first single actually.
Yeah,
and actually I think Magne wrote it as a slow song, and then I think it was Martin Terev that suggested making it an upbeat song, and I think it was a good decision, and the video actually is pretty cool too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I remember when we interviewed Magne some years ago, we got the chance to interview him, and it was the Analog promotion tour, and I think we had 20 minutes. He was very nice and generous actually, giving us some more time, but he rambled on about those lyrics for at least 5 minutes. And I was like, I want to talk about other stuff as well, but I think it was just he pressed play on tape and then it just went away.
But it seemed at least also at that time that it was a song that he was really, really proud of.
Yeah,
and I can understand it.
I can understand it too. I think we are too harsh on it.
Yeah, but Logic will have it that you can only have 75 songs in top 75, so that's why it's a little bit lower on the list. But a good song.
Yeah,
excellent song.
Definitely.
Number 80.
So here we go. Number 80. Forever Not Yours. It's it's one of the biggest hits of Aha's career, and I can't really say that I'm proud of that, but it is a nice pop song. The keyboard riff is really good, and the verse and the chorus are alright. I think that's a way to put it. It's a fine collaboration actually between Morten and Magne, and the video was entertaining as well, with a bunch of contemporary artists in the arch, and with Magne cleaning toilets and Paul doing the dishes. I mean, it's not the style that I prefer for Aha, I just have to say that, but it's an enjoyable single, and it did actually give them a nice airtime and chart time, which I appreciate. But again, it's not the Aha I really prefer.
No. I think, well, as we've mentioned, we're from Denmark, and I think it actually reached number 1 on the airplay charts here in Denmark.
It did, yeah.
Yeah, the same week as they played a concert, which was amazing. I think it's a great pop song. It is, as you also allude to, not Aha at their most artistic, but it does have hit song written all over it. Paul has in an interview claimed that Morten has the most commercial taste of the 3 band members, which certainly comes across here. Yeah. Still, it towers above many other big hits of the early 2000 era. Nordic noir, melancholy, dark undertone, catchy chorus. Well done, Morten.
Number 79.
Number 79, we're looking for the Whales from Scoundrel Days from 1986. In concerts often introduced by Morten as a song that helped set the direction for the band and which showed them what they were capable of, or that helped them find their identity. It's not a bad song by any account. It's also 79 on our list, but it pales in comparison to the many other classics on Scoundrel Days. There's the I Found Angels Beached Outside Your Doors part that I think is absolutely gorgeous.
I thought it was bitch outside your door.
No, it is beached outside your doors. To me, it's a slightly underrated song. Maybe because it sits among so many other fantastic tracks on Scoundrel Days. I like this one a lot.
Yeah. I think side 2 on Scoundrel Days, for those who listen to vinyl, has some issues for me. And this one is in the middle of the 5 songs on side 2. Sounds a bit too perky coming after side 1, I think, and it lacks the melancholic edge. But it's an okay pop song. Nothing more in my book, and the middle part is really the high point of the song, where the I Found Angels Beached Outside Your Doors.
But it also isn't the middle of the 5 songs. It is number 2 on side B. But then again, you've never been a fan, so. But
it's rated to me in the middle of the 5 songs. So there are 2 songs that are worse and 2 songs that are better. That was what I meant.
Okay, like that.
There you have
Saved
it.
by the Bell.
Yeah.
I know it's
nice save.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Number 78.
Number 78, The Breakers, from the Lifelines Deluxe Edition 2019. As much as I hate to admit it, this one sounds better and fits better with Jimmy Gnecco, who sang it on the Savoy version. And who would have thought, he hits higher notes than Morten actually.
It's not a competition.
It's not a competition. But often it's like, oh, Morten, he pitches so high and blah, blah. Jimmy Gnecco actually pitches this one higher than Morten does on this demo version. And it makes the Aha song, the Aha version, a bit weaker actually. I still like the song, and I can point out several songs that it should have replaced on Lifelines. Definitely, because it is a super great song. But it's it's a slow song with balls, I would say.
One of the many. I agree that it doesn't differ greatly from the Savoy release, which in some ways is always interesting and sometimes depressing, because it gives you an idea of what a-ha could have sounded like after 2000 if Paul didn't have to or decided to divide his songs between a-ha and Savoy, and why a-ha or anyone else in the management voted against this one in favor of some of the less memorable tracks and Lifelines. That to me can only be explained by democracy or peeing off territories or just bad judgment overall. I think it's a really, really good song. Solid lyrics, strong chorus. Shame on whoever voted the breakers of Lifelines.
Yes. And we know who.
Number 77.
Number 77, Shadow Side from Foot of the Mountain from 2009. This has been a slow grower for me, I must admit. I wasn't a big fan at first, to be honest. Not even when the song was debuted at the concerts in 2008 as one of the 2 new tracks ahead of releasing Foot of the Mountain. Back then I preferred the other new song, Riding the Crest, but I think the observant listener may recall that we've already covered Riding the Crest earlier on the list, because it actually sits in place 124 on our list. So, opinions do change, and I admit that Shadow Side is the better song of the 2. It has sort of the trademark bleak lyrics, almost bordering on the exhibitionistic and self-pitying, but it just about manages to stay on the right side. So I think it's an absolute masterclass vocal delivery from Morten from low to high. So for me, I mean, we've talked a lot about the songs that hasn't won over time or haven't won over time. This one has for me.
Yeah, I always liked it. I liked it from the first time we heard it at the concert at London's Royal Albert Hall. It's pure Paul, and the chorus is really, as you say, beautiful. Both the melody, the vocals, and the lyrics. I mean, and I really like the I don't want to see myself descend to the shadow side again. It's just lovely. A shorter version without the last part of the bridge of the bridge was actually released for the single version, which I think it misses that little part. And I think it's a high point on the Foot of the Mountain album. Definitely.
Yeah, it is strange that they made a new version and released that as a single. It's not uncommon for a-ha sort of latter days.
Yeah.
The original is the best.
Definitely.
Number 76.
Well, number 76, the final one of this episode 3. And appropriately, it's Case Closed on Silver Shore. It's actually a B-side. It's on the analog All I Want CD version. It's another B-side that should have gotten more attention. Great lyrics from Paul about a murder case, actually. Maybe a little less subtle than I've Been Losing You. And the fact that the intro of the song is 53 seconds long really only adds to the drama. The chorus perhaps could have been a little better, but all in all, I think this is a great song and it should have been included on the album.
Yeah, and it's written by Paul, and it has this very distinct Savoy feel. So maybe that's a reason why it wasn't included on analog. And at the same time, it doesn't feel like it would belong on analog either. But it's, in my opinion, and we can see that from the list as well, it's far superior to many of the other songs on analog. I think it could have taken a-ha in an interesting direction. Fun, intriguing use of sound effects, like an old camera taking pictures that sort of the crime scene becoming sort of part of the beat. And Morten's voice gets plenty of room to show how versatile it is. It's an odd song, but it's a good song.
Yeah.
All right, case closed.
On Silver Shore.
Yeah, that was 25 songs. Time flies when you talk a lot. But thank you guys. We'll be back for the fourth episode.
Mm-hmm. We're halfway through the tour now.
Halfway through the tour.
Definitely.
All right.
Please come back.
Stay, don't just walk away.
Yeah.